What's up, guys? Carl here. Today we're going to be doing some Power BI, and this time we won't be using the free version because now I got the Power BI Pro version. So we're going to be getting started with showing you guys how to utilize Power BI once you're beyond Power BI free version. I have a scenario for you guys. I have some data for you guys. You can go along this journey with me. It's some free drop shipping data. The link will be in the description for the Excel file that you can use. And hey, it's all yours. And I'm going to show you guys how to get started creating your own workspace and publishing your first Power BI app within your work organization. So the data we're going to be using today is going to be a product list for someone that's looking to do FBA or drop shipping or something like that. This is basically, it's going to give you your order quantity. It's going to give you your products. It's going to give you your items. It's going to give you your order quantity, your wholesale price, the wholesale cost, wholesale price, retail price, your profit, items sold once you start making sales. It's going to give you your product profit, and then it'll give you your total profit. And then you'll also have your product links and everything like that as well. So before we dive into this, let's just fix these links. This one don't want to act right, but we're going to go ahead and ignore that. So I'm going to hit save. Now we're into Power BI, but the first thing you guys want to do when creating your own workspace, now that you have the pro version and you're able to do this within a workspace, and you're, let's just say, for example, you've been using the free version to get familiar with the tool, understand it. The funny thing is nobody will hire you if you have Power BI experience, but in order to get Power BI experience, you got to get the job, right? So let's just say we got the job now and they're giving us access to their work organization, their workspace. So now what do? We're here and it's going to say, good morning, Carl. So they have given you access to their pro version. You get these notification pop-ups here. You can just get rid of those. But what you want to do is come down here to workspaces. And when you're new to an organization, you usually have some workspaces that you got access to because they just share certain workspaces to the entire organization. And I'll teach you guys a little bit more about that as we go with here. But the first thing you want to do is create a workspace. The reason I got that pop up is because I literally just bought Pro, and you have to assign yourself the license. We may have to just do a refresh. Now I create workspace, and now that license is officially signed. So it really feels good when you get that Pro license, and the Pro license is only $9.99 a month. You can't beat that. You really can't. So we're gonna name this workspace, this workspace product list. And now I'm available for hire, by the way. So we're gonna name a product list, and we're gonna just put in the description, FBA. Leave everything the same, hit save. Now that I created that, I can go back here to my Power BI. And when I go to Power BI, next thing I want to do is save. And then we're going to proceed with getting our data into Power BI. So we're going to get our data from Excel. It's going to connect the data. It's going to bring this up. Gonna let you preview it. For whatever reason it's giving you two, you just go ahead and pick this one. You can say transform data. Now we can bring this up to make sure that all our data has, all right, so we're good on that, so we can close and apply. Once that's done, but you can do while you're there, when you hit transform data, what you usually do first is you just go ahead and give this the name. So this is product list. Go ahead and hit enter, close and apply. And then we'll give that name. Another way you can do that, you could have just simply came here and said product list. So just keep that in mind. Now we can start building our Power BI. So you guys know how I like to do it. I like to grab the table first. And now that we're pros, it says auto recovery. We don't have to worry about that right now. Now that we're Power BI pros, what we want to do is say products. So we got those products, we got items, and we can leave off demand. We can do quarter. We can do wholesale price, wholesale cost, retail price. We can do our profit, then we can do our total profit. Then we can add our 2 links here. Product profit. Let's pull that one up here. All right. First thing I see is I want to go ahead and change this to profit. I'm going to change it to profit per item. Just to eliminate any confusion. And these will be links. So we're going to do some conditional formatting on these. All right, so now that we got everything in here, let's just go ahead and do some cleanup. So we got dogs. Let me keep this selected. So we got dogs. So we got products column. Product columns is just word. So if we come here to product, we're good because that's just text. We got item, which is just text. We got order quantity. And if we go to order quantity, that's just the whole number, which is good. We got wholesale price. So if we come to wholesale price, we know that that is going to be money, currency. So we can go there, and then what we can do is go ahead and add our decimals so that that makes sense. Then we got our wholesale cost on the next one. So we do the same thing here, just hit that $sign up twice. Then we have our total profit. Okay. And then we have our wholesale links, right? So we got a wholesale link, and it's not a text format. What we want to do with this, go to conditional formatting, and then we're just going to call this a web URL because we know that this is a web URL. When we come here, we're going to say first wholesale link web URL. We know it's wholesale link, so we're good on that. And now it has converted itself to a web URL. So now we can click on it like a web URL, and we can do the same thing with the product link. So we're going to go to product link here. Click on that drop down, conditional formatting, web URL. Everything is done for you. Hit OK. And that is that. Now what we could do to get rid of these long text, the next thing we could do is we can come right back here to wholesale link. We want to come up here to data category and change this into a web URL. And then what that does is create this link. So you get rid of that, all of that text space. And then you go to your product link. And you do the same thing with this one. You change this to a web URL. And now you have freed up all of that extra additional space, which is great. All right, so now we have some things to work with. So for this particular Power BI, since we are official Power BI pros, in addition to just having a standard background, we're going to spice it up a little bit. So what we're going to do is go into PowerPoint, and I already have it open. So you can open PowerPoint as well. Just pause if you need to take some time. And we're going to look for some different concepts so we can add to our Power BI page. And if you open it up, you'll see that you got a lot of different designs to go off of. So feel free to pick one that suits you. I'm going to pick this one, and then what we're going to do is going to save as this PC, and just keep in mind that In PowerPoint, you have to save in JPEG or PNG. So we're going to just save this in PNG. I'm just going to call this our background photo. All right, so we've done that. So then we can come back over here to Power BI, and we can go to Canvas background. We can browse, and now we have a background. You can open that up, and now you guys can see once you change that transparency, we have a background. So we're gonna put that at just about 60%. 60% is good for me. All right, so remember, we're just using this so we can make, so this is just identifying for us that this is all the data that we're going to be using in our Power BI. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and create some lists. So what I want to do is I want to come here and import a visual. So let's go to get more visuals. And one that I like to use is Chiclets. This slicer right here made by Microsoft. And I want to just add this one to my visuals. So the import is successful. So we're going to add this here, and we're going to drop products down in here. So products is going to be our category. And as you can see, it pops up and populates like that. It gives us a some buttons to pick from our product standpoint. So now I can just kind of drop this right here. If I want it to be 2 and 2, I come here, I come to general, and I change it to 2 columns. So now it's 2 and 2. And if I want to go ahead and improve on this a little bit more, I come here to header. I can change this font to dark, or I can change this font to blue. Something that matches the background. And then I can just increase this font a little bit, change this transparency. Next thing I can do here is I can just go ahead and start modifying this to clean this up or add some texture and color to it. So I'm going to click on this. Now we're back here. We're going to go to Chiclets. We can change this font size and increase that size. We can make the height bigger for here, and we can make the width longer as well. As we can do that by just simply moving this back and forth. All right, so that's a good spot for me. And then if we want to do a selected color, we can change this to this blue. If we wanted to do a hover color, we can change the text to black or whatever, or we can change the text to blue, something like that. And if it's unselected, which is unselected now, this is how it would look. And we can change it to something like this. And then if it's disabled, it can be white. And then you can change your outline color as well. So those are some options that you guys can choose from to help bring your thing to life. And then if it's unselected, we want to say, so yeah. I want to get the text to, I want the text to be white. Hover color, unselected color, text color. There it is. All right. We can add some outline styling. You can say rounded to give it a more rounded look, or you can say square to give it a more square look. I think I'm gonna go with the rounded look. As far as the background, you can leave the background as is, and for the outline color, we'll just make that white. And there it is. So now we have our product here. So if we want to say just give me dog, we'll give dogs. If we want to say give me skincare, it'll give you skincare, t-shirts, so on and so forth. So that's looking good so far. Next thing we want to do is we want to look at what's going to make us the most money. So let's dive right into a pie chart. So with a pie chart, we got 4 categories we know. So let's get our legend. which is going to be dog, kids, skincare, and yada, yada, yada. So this particular pie chart can be dedicated to our total profit, right? So if we just go here to total profit and say values, and then once we go here to products, now it's going to give us the weighted values. Now we're able to see the total profit by product. And if we hover over it, we can also see some quick tool tips to give us our total profit by product, and no particular time frame, just by the order quantity. Now the next thing we can do is we can look at our wholesale costs. So let's just pick this table right here, bring this over, it kind of snapped it into place for us. Just give it a little room so it's not like right up on it. And then let's just go ahead and fill this out. So we want our product as the legend. We also want our product as the x-axis. And then what we want to do is our wholesale costs on the y-axis. That way we get to see kids, dogs, skincare, t-shirts, and we get to see it as such. And it says wholesale costs by products and products. We don't want it to say and products and products, by products and products. So what we want to do is come here, go to our generals tab, and get rid of that second product. There it is. And I see where it picked up the typo that I had here. All right, good deal. So that fixed that typo there and there. Great. So now we have that. And if you want this bar to be a little thicker, I think it should be a little thicker. We can come here. All right, so you want to increase in spacing, you just back it off to 0, and that's about as good as it can get. And we want to add our data labels on it so we can have some numbers to look at, because that's important. Numbers are important. The next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and look at so we got our total profits, we got our wholesale costs. Not only do we want to add our product profit, we want to add our total profit as well as our wholesale cost into one graph. So in order to do that, what are we going to do? We're going to use the align and stacked graph. All right, so we can either use this one or we can use this one. So either or. All right, so how we're going to set this up is for our x-axis, what we want is our products. Then for our y-axis, so for our columns and our lines, what we want to do is we want to let our line be an indicator of how much it's going to cost us, right? So we can use that for our line indicator, because this is how much it's going to cost us. And then for our total profit, we can say that's our total profit. For our product profit, that's our product profit. So now we're able to see how much we had to spend in order to make the money that we expect to make from a total profit, product profit, and wholesale cost. So for example, it only costed us $12,000 to make a total profit of $48,000. All right. So that's our last one, but we don't want it to say total profit, product profit, and wholesale profit, blah, 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 blah. We want to change this, go to generals again, go to title, and then just go to, we want to just make this one say, let's just call this our gross profit. So it's basically showing, how much money we made, how much money we lost, and everything up in one chart. So now we can come here. And another thing I want to do is go to my data labels, turn those on. Even though they look a little wonky, it says auto position, which is fine. Yeah, I'm okay with having those data labels on. So we have, if we wanted to just look at dogs, now we can say, okay, for my dog stuff, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to cost me $9,000, basically 10 grand, and I'll be able to make a $32,000 profit and a total profit of 41,000. Right. So that's basically how things will look and shake out. So we can just go ahead and go there. So if we wanted to just look at kids and skincare, then we can do that. Another thing to note, since we do have this order quantity here, we may want to add that order quantity to the tooltips to give people an idea what that number is based on. So in order to do that, we can come here to click on that, drop down the tooltips, and then just drop that quantity in there. That way, whenever we hover over that, it gives us an idea of the order quantity for the kid products. Gives us an idea for the dogs, the skincare, as well as the t-shirts. So we can do the same thing here. We can come to order, find our order quantity, drop it in the tooltips. Now when we hover over that, we get that same result, and we just repeat that same thing here. So now that we've done that, so on our first row, we accounted for all the products. Now that we've done that, now let's add a drop down for our items. So let's just add a slicer here. So slicer, drag that up here. We can put it there. And then we can just drop items down in the fields. We can change this to a drop down. And we can kind of expand it a little bit. That's good. We want this to somewhat match our chiclet. So we can come over here to visuals. We can do a slicer header. Item is fine. We can come up here to change this color. Then we can go to values, do the same thing for values. We can say font color is blue. And we can just pick this blue here. Now that I look at this, I see a lot of dead space here. You guys know how I feel about dead space if you watched my videos before. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase this. And then we're going to come here to general, and we're just going to add more columns. And then that gets me looking the way I want it to look. We can come down here to chiclet and we can increase this height. So now it fills out a little bit more. So let's just say, so that's good for me. All right, so that looks good to me. Now I'm able to select the different items that I want to look at individually and see some numbers. If I wanted to just see dog items, click on dogs first. Then I just pick on the collar. And now we're getting somewhere. So everything's looking good so far. Now I just want a big graph across the bottom with all the items on it. So now we can kind of get rid of this guy. Drag that bad boy across. And what we want to do is say, this is our x-axis. And we want to know what will be the total profit for each item. So basically what item is going to make us the most money? What item is making us the least amount of money? So we can quickly see that here. And we really can just go ahead and do the same thing we did up there, up here in gross profit, and say we got our total profit, we got our product profit, and then we have our wholesale cost for our line axis to see what's really costing and what's really gaining. So, and we don't want it to stack. We want it to be side by side. And now we can add in our data labels. And we just pick it up off the bottom a little bit. And for this row right here, I want to select these three, go to format, go to align, and then I want to just distribute these equally horizontally. So there it is. The next thing I want to do is add drop shadows on just about everything. So I'm gonna go to visual, There it is. Effects, shadow. Same here. And we can just stay on effects. Go shadow, shadow, shadow. Same thing on every one of them. So now we're looking groovy, baby. Next thing I want to do is make sure everything is distributed evenly vertically. That fixes that. And I can select this. All right, so we can get rid of that, and now we can kind of take a step back and look at our data and see what we have so far. Another thing we could do is to change these colors. So we don't want this orange and purple. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. So instead of orange and purple, let's go with a lighter blue. And that gray looks fine. I think for this wholesale line, we can just go with the black. So from this standpoint, we are officially finished with this. So let's just go ahead and give this a name. Call this product list. This is super important as well. And now when we click on publish, we can say save. Then we want to make sure that we're clicking on the workspace that we created, which is our product list. Select. This will publish to your workspace. And it says success. You can open this up in Power BI through that link. Or if you already got in Power BI open, just open your Power BI, hit refresh. Now it's open. What you want to do is open it up. We don't need a tour. I'm a pro at this. And then now you have your page published in Power BI. If you want to get this into an app, what you want to do is deselect everything by doing so. Let's come here, click on create app, give it a description. I'm going to call this FBA and Shopify. You have a few options here. You can give it a logo. You can change the logo theme, so on and so forth. We have a color that we selected, so you can make your theme kind of match the color. You got some permissions. You can do entire organization, or you can do specific groups. You can allow users to connect. What I usually do is turn all of this off. Then I just hit publish. You can copy that link, or you can just say go to app. And then once that app is created, there it is in your Power BI. So you are good to go. You can share this app throughout your organization. You can also share this app outside of an organization if you want to share it on a web page or something like that. And now you have your first Power BI web page in an app that you can use in your portfolio. From me to you. And that'll conclude that. I hope you guys enjoyed that Power BI tutorial, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that scenario, drop shipping in FBA. I created that scenario on my own, so feel free to reach out if you guys want to see me do any other scenarios or any other Power BI tips and tricks. I also will be covering data marts in the future, so look out for that video. I'm Carl. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Before you go, if you're new to this channel, here's a chance for you to subscribe and make sure you smash that thumbs up. Once again, make sure you leave some comments down in the comment section. And if you want to check out some more videos that may help you learn on the go as you grow, you can do so right now. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.